Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And disappointing that the Liberals would impose time allocation on this. But one of the real challenges that has been highlighted time and time again in Bill C-29 is that the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples, while acknowledged as a national Indigenous organization, they have been left out of the proposed council in this and have been very, very vocal in their disappointment in that regard. So I'd like to ask that minister very specifically that while there have been continual calls to ensure that they are included in this council, to be included in the conversations or surrounding C-29, they have been specifically excluded, and including the many Indigenous Canadians across Indigenous peoples across Canada that are not necessarily represented by the other organizations that will have a seat at the table. Why did they exclude the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, and I appreciate the question. This issue has come forward. Congress of Aboriginal People have had a chance to make submissions both at the Senate as well as the House of Commons parliamentary committees. The amendments to add them on as one of the members of the council or have a delegate from their organization was considered by way of amendment, and it was rejected. We're at a point right now where the final amendments put forward by the Senate are acceptable to the government, and we're recommending acceptance and passage. Therefore, I think I don't want to litigate an issue that has already been considered by almost 60 hours of debate over 44 days, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Battle River Crowfoot.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I'd like to circle back, if I could, on the exclusion of the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples. And what's very disappointing from that minister's answer is he doesn't want to relitigate, his words, this concern when, according to Stats Canada, there are about 800,000, almost a million, Indigenous people across Canada that are not represented by the organizations that are on this council. So, Madam Speaker, with due respect to that minister, do those 800,000 Canadians that are not represented by those who are on the council, does he suggest that it's not worth continuing the Conservative fight, at the very least, to ensure that those voices are in fact included on the Council for Reconciliation?
Honourable Minister.
The bill, Madam Speaker, calls for an establishment of a council between, I believe it's 9 and 12 members. There are 4 seats that are reserved. There are still 8 more seats that are fully open, and nothing will preclude CAP, for example, from seeking, or members of CAP from seeking a seat there and to be represented. Secondly, just to confirm, once you're a member of the board, the allegiance is actually to the board itself, to the council itself, and not to individual organizations. That's typically how these things work. So my suggestion to the member would be to advise CAP that they can apply in an open and transparent process for an appointment to the council.
And comments. The Honourable Member for Battle River Crowfoot.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I'm curious how the conversation has evolved from that minister over the course of this debate and his suggestion that while all parties, including the Liberals at committee, voted to ensure that this council would be as inclusive of all Indigenous voices as possible, he says that the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples should simply follow their process, and this is very, very interesting, he says that their loyalty won't be to their organizations but to the board. So I'm concerned that the evolution of the language that has taken place over this half hour is exactly the reason why a fulsome debate is required in this place. So, Madam Speaker, I would certainly call into question the suggestion that they have somehow settled all outstanding issues on this bill when clearly they don't have all of the questions answered.
Answer from the Honourable Minister.
Speaker, I believe I have already answered this question. I think the process itself has worked itself through both houses, and this matter has been discussed at length, and I believe that there's been closure. The matter is closed now, Madam Speaker. I do encourage all members to support the passage of this bill. Even tonight, it could happen tonight, so I'm hoping we can get that done.